Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary peoples. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary, excuse me, fantasy baseball talk for Thursday, July 14th. It is my paternal grandmother's birthday. Today she is 78? That doesn't sound right. I don't even know how old she is. In her 70s. She was 39 when I was born. I'm 35. 74. Right, 74. I tried to call her earlier. She didn't answer the phone. I haven't got a call back yet. And it's about 10:30 at night. So I don't know if I should be a little worried that something may have happened to them, because my grandparents are old and they're very stubborn, and they're never going to move into a home. But there's not really anybody there to take care of them, and so I don't know. I'm gonna try to call again tomorrow, and if they don't answer the phone, then I'm gonna start getting worried. But at this point, maybe they just went out and did there, and by the time they got home, my grandma thought it was too late to call me. She was being considerate, whatever, what have you. We'll see. It's not raising, alarms yet. It's just a little abnormal for my grandma to not be home when I call her. Uber Eats is going fine. I found a couple of promising leads for a place in Tucson, so I'm hoping that one of them pans out for me. It would be nice to get that arranged before August, because my landlord wants a 30-day notice. So it would be nice to have a place set up for me, so that I can put in my 30-day notice in August, at some point in August. So, my rent is all paid up until September. So all these paychecks for the next 6 weeks that I'm going to get. So the next 12 paychecks that I'm going to get, 6 from UPS, 6 from Uber Eats, are for me to save, to move, because I'm probably going to have to get a moving truck, which is not cheap, or hire movers or something of the sort. And then also for me to go on vacation, which I'm trying to plan right now. The place at the top of my U.S. bucket list right now is New Mexico. I was putting off going to New Mexico because New Mexico is a place I want to spend like 4 or 5 a week. So I was waiting until October when I get my vacation time at UPS, probably to go there. But now that I don't work at the airport, now that I work for Uber Eats and I can make my own schedule and I can take 5 straight days off if I want to. I was looking at it possible as my next vacation, but the cheapest time to go in the next month was actually today, which is fascinating to me, because I was looking, it was like 7 a.m. I was looking at flights, and if I'd have bought a flight today to Albuquerque at I think it left at like 10 a.m., that would have been the cheapest time to fly out there for the next month, which is again, fascinating. The day of, just 3 hours before, was the cheapest time to fly. The rest there was some other days that were reasonable. Most of the days were not so reasonable. So I think I'm probably still gonna wait to go to New Mexico, even though I don't know if I'm still gonna be around here in October. I don't plan on still being around here in October, and I'm not able to transfer UPS at this point. I gotta look into that more. I gotta figure out a way to do that. Because otherwise, I'm gonna have to cash out my remaining vacation time, and I'm not gonna have that, that time. I'll have that money, but I won't have that time off from UPS, which is kind of a bummer because I really enjoy UPS. I enjoy the fact it's union and I get benefits, even though I'm not really using those benefits. I have them. It's nice to have them. It's nice to have that security, that peace of mind that if something happens to me, I'm going to be covered. Or if I need health care of some sort, I'm gonna be covered. You know, UPS is one of those jobs I could stay, make a career, 25 years in, retire. You know, so I could be retired before I'm 60. The problem with UPS is that like there's just not a lot of places to go career-wise, because once you go into management, you lose the union. You're no longer part of the union. So the only way you can really go is going to be a driver for 25 years, and like that doesn't appeal to me. I like driving, but I don't want to drive a truck around. You know, it's a high stress. UPS is a high stress. Being an UPS driver is a high stress job. So I'm not sure if that's a route I want to go. But if I transfer within the city that I'm in, like even, well, counting Vancouver, I have to transfer within the area. So the Portland metro area, I can transfer anywhere. I can transfer into a full-time position here in Portland with UPS if I wanted to. But the problem is all those jobs just aren't the same. I enjoy what I do now at the airport. I enjoy the short shift. It's short. It's not long enough for me to get bored. It's you know, fast paced, keeps me busy, gives me exercise. It's just it's a low stress job, really. So I don't know. I don't want to stay in this city. I mean, it's nice to finally like have with Uber Eats to have, you know, like time to have a personal life. The problem is I don't have a personal life. I don't have any friends here. Very few friends. Although my friend from Florida who was here is coming back to visit here soon. He's gonna be here for about a month. So that'll be cool to hang out with him. We're gonna go to a metal show next month together. That'll be awesome. And then, so it'd be nice to have him around again for a brief period of time. And yeah, I can't get any dates in this town. It's ridiculous, aggravating, so aggravating trying to date in this town. It shouldn't be this hard. I'm not that ugly. I don't get it. Like, it's just rough. I am ready for a change of scenery. I'm ready to step out of my comfort zone. I know that if I fail there, I can always come back here. You know, like, it's going to be safe to come back here. There's going to be, you know, I'll have no problem coming back here if I need to. It's just time to challenge myself, you know, and just try something new, because I gotta. But again, with Uber Eats, it's nice to, you know, I have time for personal life. I'm getting out and you know, enjoying the city that I live in, which is something I haven't really been able to do the whole time I've lived here, because I haven't been able to drive, or because of COVID. You know, so I'm discovering new things. So it's great. I'm trying to soak it all in, take it all in as much as I can this summer before I leave. But, you know, I'll still come back and visit too. My mom's already like, oh, you got to come back and visit if you move. I was like, you know what? You guys don't ever come visit me. The only time I ever see you is when I come drive down and see you. So, you know, I don't visit that much anyways. It's not gonna be that different. And my mom, you know, my grandma, still gonna go down to Arizona, down to Phoenix, to visit my aunt and my cousins. So when they're in town, I'll, you know, drive the hour and a half up the freeway to Phoenix and hang out with them, you know. And I'm not really worried about it. It's just, you know, my dad ain't never gonna go. He ain't gonna go down there. Tell me, he might go down there. Help me move. He might drive the truck or something, which will be cool. But my dad isn't gonna enjoy Arizona. This nice cup of tea. He doesn't like cities. He doesn't like heat, which I don't blame him. I'm not a big fan of heat either. But my thing with heat is the humidity. Not so much the desert heat. It's a little bit more in favorable to me. I just want to live somewhere where there's vitamin D, lots of sun, or I can be outside the majority of the year. There's lots of reasons I want to get out of here. But anyways, I've been rambling on for over 10 minutes. Let's get to the shit that you tuned in for. Baseball. 3 steaming hitters to consider adding. Excuse me. Damn. We're going to talk about Jose Iglesias today. He has been, he's been in like the top 10, 15, 20 available free agent hitters pretty much all year. He's just slowly accumulating stats. He hasn't, I've been seeing him there. I've been checking, every day. He's getting like 1-2 points. He's not doing anything exciting, so he wasn't really worth talking about. But this week, the last 3 games, he's been hitting really, really well, putting up lots of points. Very outstanding. He is now, for the first time in his career, really, I'm sure he's helped out by the Coors Field home field, but he's finally fantasy relevant. He's always been a starting shortstop for a lot of different teams because he's very good defensively. That keeps him on the field, but he's never really been able to hit. This is the first time in his career where he has been able to hit, and he's still, maybe on the fringes of fantasy relevance, like outside the top 10 shortstops, maybe outside the top 15 still. But with Wander Franco being on the injured list, out for a while, Jose Iglesias might be one of your best options out there for sustained consistency at the shortstop position this season. Next, we're going to talk about Jose Miranda of the Twins. He has been on fire lately. He has played his way into an everyday role with the Twins. We'll see if that can continue when Miguel Sano returns. Personally, I think Sano sucks. I don't think Miguel Sano should be playing the field at all. If Miguel Sano's going to play, he needs to be DH, and I'm not even convinced that he's good enough for that. But Jose Miranda is contributing really well in fantasy, and he is eligible at both of the corner positions, first base and third base. And then Matt Carpenter, it's time to recognize him. Ever since he signed with the Yankees, he's been very productive when given an opportunity. The problem was he wasn't getting very many opportunities, but that seems to be changing. He seems to be getting a lot more time in the field, a lot more DH opportunities. And so with that, with more opportunity comes fantasy relevance, and gets him on our radar. If you need a second base or a DH, Matt Carpenter is a great pickup until he cools off. For the pitchers to stream this weekend, I've got none for Saturday, unfortunately, but do have 4 for Friday and 4 for Sunday. Friday, in chronological order from the time of first pitch, starting with East Coast time. Tyler Wells of the Orioles at the Rays. Tampa Bay is a very pitcher-friendly environment. Tyler Wells has been outstanding this year, except for his last start. We'll just ignore that. We'll go with the overall body of work this season, and trust him against the Rays, even though the Rays are teams hard to trust a pitcher against. I like Tyler Wells' body of work. Hunter Green at the Cardinals, strikeout machine. Busch Stadium is a decent enough environment. Andre Palente versus the Reds, opposing Hunter Green. Andre Palente is facing a much weaker batting order, has a much better defense behind him. So even though Andre Palente has struggled lately, the Reds are a perfect opportunity for him to right the ship. And then Madison Bumgarner against the Padres. Madison Bumgarner's pitched well lately. He is definitely higher on the list of trade candidates at the deadline. So any situation that he finds himself in outside of Arizona is going to be more favorable for his fantasy prospects. I cannot talk right now. For his fantasy prospects for the rest of the season and beyond, possibly. And then moving on to Sunday, because again, I have nothing for Saturday. I've got 4 for you. Bo Brieske is coming off back-to-back pretty good starts. He'll be facing a Guardians team that is very advantageous. It might be hard for him to get a win because he'll be opposing Shane Bieber in that game. But again, great opportunity for a quality start there. Corey Kluber is back below 50%. He's been pretty on the ball for the most part this season against the Orioles in Tampa Bay. I definitely trust him. And then David Peterson he's been racking up strikeout. He's been a strikeout machine over the last month. He'll be facing a very vulnerable Cubs batting order. And then Merrill Kelly, another guy who's probably going to get traded before the deadline. He'll be facing the Padres as well on Sunday. And he also has pitched really well, really consistently. The problem with Merrill Kelly this year has been consistency. But lately, he seems to have turned it around. And all of his starts, his last 5 starts, I believe, 4 or 5 starts, have been positive. So let's hope the trend can continue, even in San Diego against a formidable lineup. Even though Petco Park is historically one of the better environments for a pitcher to throw in. Yeah, okay. I'm having trouble talking. Got something in my throat, so I'm just gonna end this now. And hopefully I can get this posted soon because it's pretty late here on Thursday night. I am staying up till midnight because it is waiver day in one of my Dynasty basketball leagues. The commissioner finally decided what he was going to do with the minor spots. So the minor spots in a lot of Dynasty leagues are for young players who have yet to appear in more than 82 NBA games, or for guys on 2-way contracts, or what have you, second round picks, stuff like that. A lot of these Dynasty leagues have, one of my Dynasty leagues has like 15 spots, which is crazy big. Most of them are like 2 to 4. This one has 4. The one we just drafted for a couple weeks ago has 4. The original way the commissioner set it up was terrible. It was terrible. It was so there's only we have 4 minor spots, but there's it was only supposed to be for players who are signed to 2-way contracts, and so there's only 2 of those per team, and there's only 30 teams, right? So there's 60 players on 2-way contracts, right? So this is a 30-team Dynasty league. We have 4 minor spots, so that's 120 spots that people have to fill with 60 players. It's a little unfair, a little imbalanced. A lot of people complained. I was not one of the people who complained. I was fine with the way it was. I was gonna play with the original rules. Fine. A lot of other people complained, so the commissioner changed it. So now anybody who has played in less than 82 NBA games is now eligible for that spot. So that frees up a lot of open roster spots for a lot of teams. So tonight at midnight is waiver day, where a lot of us, me included, I have 4 open roster spots. We'll be trying to get some players that, even though there's not a whole lot of quality players on the waiver wire, there's enough that I feel, I think for the 4 roster spots, I put in 12 waiver requests. I'm hoping I get 4 of the 12. 2 regular roster spots, 2 minor spots to fill. And I have a lot of players who are minors eligible, so I can rotate them in and out as the season goes along. That's kind of the way that it's, that's the way people do it. They manipulate it like that for the good players, because you always want the guy who's going to be actually playing that night in your lineup, right? And the guy who's, in the G League in your minor spots, because you don't want to drop these guys, these rookies who might have use 2, 3, 4 years down the line. So, I could talk Dynasty basketball all day. It's very addicting. I love it. It's the best. I don't know if it's better than fantasy football, but it's definitely second best. It's definitely top 2 of, fantasy sports formats. So, yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, this is still about an hour. Still about an hour away, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of waiver claims to be processed. So I doubt it's gonna happen at midnight anyway. It'll probably be more like 1:30, 2 a.m. Pacific time. So it'll be like bright and early morning for the East Coasters. I don't know if they're gonna stay up for it, but I mean, you don't really have to stay up for it, right? It's just like you want to make sure that you get the guys that you want, and if you don't, then you want to go hit that, you want to go hit that wire to get some players as soon as possible, because it's gonna be slim pickings if you don't. If you have to wait till the next morning after all the waivers went through and after everybody who stayed up, went pilfering what was left, there's not gonna be much out there. So, it's all it is what it is. Not everybody gets excited about this stuff like I do. I get it. I'm a nerd. Anyway, peace, love, and nacho fries. Good luck. Stay blessed. Stay cool out there, even though it hasn't really been super hot here yet in the Pacific Northwest, which is sad because it's mid-July now. But yeah, tip your delivery drivers too. I guess that's, even though I don't believe it. I hate the whole tipping industry. I hate that employers pass the buck to the customer, and then they make the customer feel guilty if the tip sucks or if they don't tip at all. Blah blah blah. I hate it, but since I do work for Uber Eats now, I do kind of live on tips. Tips are like 60% of my income because the other 40% is what Uber pays me. So I do need those tips. I feel like I do a good job. I make sure that I don't spill the stuff. I make sure I read the notes. I make sure that when I'm turning the corner, I hold the bag or hold the drink or whatever so it doesn't spill. I'm very careful. I always take a good picture, try to get the address in the picture. I always put it right by the door in a good spot, put it in the shade. I worked in the food industry, so I get it. And I do need those tips, but at the same time, I hate that the customer has to tip me or feel guilty about not tipping me. But this is the system that we live in, and this is my job now, and I do enjoy it, and I do want to, make a living at it. So do tip your delivery drivers, and even the whole pre-tipping thing, I think is stupid as well. But the pre-tip does kind of determine whether the driver is going to take your order or not. Because I'm now that I do it, I know how it works. I'm on the other end. I've been on both ends of it now, and I see how it works. And I will, like, if there's an order that comes in, I get a lot of Portland orders too, which I don't like to take during the day until like after 7 p.m. I don't have a problem going over the bridge to Portland. I hate coming back. The traffic sucks. So I try to avoid those. But there's a lot of orders that come in. There's like 15 miles, and then the pay is like $6. I can assure you that there's no Uber driver that's going to take that. So unfortunately, if you want something from Vancouver and you're in Portland, or you want something 15 miles away, you need to get that pre-tip up over 15 before a driver is even going to sniff it. So it also depends on where a driver is. I've noticed too, like the algorithm will send it to the closest. Because I've wondered why I'm getting something. Because there's let's just use McDonald's as an example. Every town has like 17,000 of them, right? So I always wondered why I'll get an order from McDonald's over here by me where I am, and I have to take it all the way to the other side of town. And I think it's because Uber knows that I'm there. That's close to me. It's convenient. I can pick it up quickly and then deliver it to the person on the other side of town, instead of them, sending it to one of the 17 McDonald's that's closer to their house because there's no driver over there. So I get it, but so it depends on where the driver is as well. Different drivers, the pay and the tip might be worth it because they might be closer to where you're going. Like, say it's 15 miles from me, there might be another driver in Vancouver who is only 11 miles away, and they may be, they may think that $6-7 tip is worth it to them. So I mean, I guess it varies, but the more you pre-tip, the more likely your order is to get picked up. I mean, I try to take as many of the small ones as I can, because, you know, I always hated it when I was a customer and I'd have to wait an hour to get my order because I didn't pre-tip. But I'm also, you know, I'm not going to drive 10 miles for a $2 order either. So, I mean, you got to find a happy medium there. I talked way longer than I intended to. I already said my salutations, so I'm just going to hit the stop button. Good night.